You ready for this? Are you sure you're ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. Okay. You're ready for this. Desperate dating. Desperate dating. What is desperate dating? Desperate dating is pretty much taking what you can get and not being selective and choosing what you want. Today's topic is desperate dating. Be prepared. I'm not holding back on this one. Well, maybe a little bit. There's a scripture in Proverbs and it says, to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So let's think about that. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. When you're hungry, anything tastes good. So today what we're serving is desperate dating. We're going to put desperate dating on the plate today, and let's see what we can do about that. Because, okay, think of a woman, and let's say she may have 1 or 2 kids or whatever, and maybe she's getting a little bit older, and maybe she feels like, hey, I missed my boat, I'm too old, or I have too many kids, or whatever her issue is. And so the first man that comes along and pays attention to her, she's ready to run with it, because she feels like, I'm not going to get anybody else, the kids are, too bad, and nobody wants to be around them, and we have some bad kids sometimes, but I'm just saying that, whatever the reason is, that she's selling herself short, and then this man comes along and probably is not a good man. Well, I shouldn't say probably, but for the sake of this video, he's not a good man, okay? She feels like, he's not so bad. I know he doesn't have a car. I know he's sleeping on his friend's couch, or I know he's still home with mom and dad, but I like him. He's a nice guy, but okay, we need to think about this situation a little bit closely, because already red flags. We have to pay attention to the red flags. I don't know why I'm putting myself out here, but I understand a desperate woman, because I have been desperate before. That's nothing that I want to brag about, but I'm willing to tell my story just to make it easier for someone behind me. So in my situation, I was a single mom. I was in the military. I, worked a lot of hours. So, there wasn't a lot of time to really shop around. And the military men that I knew, a lot of them were married, or I saw what was going on whenever we went out to sea. So I didn't necessarily want to be involved with any of that. But it's like it puts you in a situation where you want love, and sometimes we look for love in all the wrong places. And so what I'm talking about today is a desperate woman. And what a desperate woman will do, first of all, she is not valuing herself. She doesn't see the value in herself. And so it makes it easier for her to latch on to the first thing that's paying her attention, or anything that's paying her attention. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. When you're hungry, like, I don't know if you all ever watched that show called Naked and Afraid. It comes on, I think it comes on, well, I don't want to say what channel it comes on, because I'm not sure, but I do watch it sometimes. And the first day, second day, third day, well, before long they start eating snakes and bugs and ants and whatever they can get their hands on for protein. And if they make it to 21 days, before that 21 days is over, they have eaten some pretty messed up stuff, okay? Just to survive, to get the protein in, just to stay alive, to keep the body functioning, because things start shutting down when you don't feed it, when you don't feed your body, things start to shut down. So for the purpose of this video, we're talking about, a desperate woman, and, she's hungry. She wants love. She wants attention. She wants affection. She may want a couple of bills paid. I don't know. But we're talking about the desperate woman. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So bitter things start popping up. But to her, it's sweet, This man comes and pays her a little attention and, says the right words. And, she's smiling because someone's paying her attention, because the only thing she has to look forward to is going home and taking care of those beautiful children that she does love. But a sister needs a little love. Okay, so she's looking at this guy, and he's looking at her, and he's telling her all the things she wants to hear. And that's the thing, some guys, and this is not a male bashing video, I love my strong men, not a male bashing video at all. But what I'm talking about is some men will take advantage of a vulnerable situation. When there's a woman and, he'll tell her all the things that she wants to hear just to get what he wants, okay? So we as women have to be a little stronger, because we have to recognize the season that we're in. If we're in a state of vulnerability, if we're in that desperate stage, you definitely have to be on guard, because to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. And just because he's smiling at you and pays for a $5 sandwich for you, you might, oh, he's so nice. Oh, he takes me out. He does this and that. And then when you get around your girlfriends, you want to tell about all the things that he's doing for you. And really, if you really open your eyes, he's not really doing a lot for you. A couple of sandwiches. I mean, you go to work for a couple of hours, you can buy your own self a sandwich, okay? Like I said, this is not a male bashing video. This is about, to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So I'll use myself as an example. Like I said, I was a single mom for a lot of years. And, I wanted someone to share life with, I wanted someone to take vacations with. I wanted to be loved, I wanted to have nice things said to me. And so it got to a point that when people would say things to me, it would make me feel nice. And instead of me looking at the red flags that were presented, like the fact that he doesn't have a job, or the fact that he doesn't have a car, which, not saying that you have to have those things, but, because people earn money in different ways, like, people start their own businesses or whatever the case may be, there are red flags to let you know, a brother needs to take time to take care of himself before he goes, smiling in your face. So I'm just going to give you an example of something. This young man, some years ago, when I met him, he was driving someone else's car, but I didn't know that at the time. So, and later on, hindsight, he was driving another female's car. So anyway, but I guess he felt like he had to tell me eventually that wasn't his car. So what he said was his car was in the shop, and that his friend had let him, borrow the car because, he needed a way to get wherever he was going. So I was like, oh, okay. So, but then a week rolled by, 2 weeks rolled by, 3 weeks rolled by, and he was still driving his car. And then, like, on the third week, it was like, oh, my friend has to take the car back now because my car is still taking a long time to get fixed. So then they're like, can you pick me up? Because my car will be ready next week, but, So I'm like, okay, I'll pick you up. And then the next week came, oh, my car is still not ready. Mind you, we're going like on the 4th, 5th week now. Can you drop me off over here? And I'm like, okay, when you getting your car back? Because by then, this is what they do. They try to put the hook in you so that you, start to like them actually. And then they start dumping this stuff on you. Oh, well, it seems like, now my car is just not going to be able to be fixed. Oh, yeah, it was totaled. okay, how did we go from, my car is getting fixed to now the car is total? So translated, look, sister, I don't have a car, and this is what you get. Okay, so ladies, we have to call it like we see it, okay? If he's walking and he doesn't have a place to live, you got to call it like you see it. That's not you trying to be better than him. That's you looking at the situation as it is. It's time to stop dating potential, because dating potential will get you in a lot of trouble. Now, if he's in medical school and you're in medical school and you're both striving towards a goal, and you both may be at a level that you don't have everything that you need, then that's a little different. But if you're stacked, you have your stuff together, and if the brother is not in law school or medical school or something where he's progressing, and he just kind of shows up here and there and pops up on this corner and in this house or in that house, there is a serious disconnect somewhere. You can't date potential. You have to call it like you see it. Hey, yo, brother, where's your job at? Do you have a job? I mean, where do you work? And you can't even just go by, do you have a job? Yeah, because, I'm just going to be real about something, okay? I dated this person, and, like I said, I was military. So he told me he was military too. He told me that he was a doctor in the Marines. Now, hindsight, is a mother, because, the way the military is structured, it doesn't quite work like that. But see, me being naive, and I'm thinking, oh, I met someone that's a resident. He's working on his residency. He's a doctor. Because I was a college graduate. When I joined the military, even though I joined enlisted, I was already a college graduate. And when I was in college, when I was in the military, I started working on a master's degree. So, it was important at the time that I wanted to find someone that I felt was educated, because I was trying to get commissioned as an officer. So I wanted someone to, be at the same status, or the same level, I guess. And so, and then I meet this guy, and he tells me, oh, he's in the Marine. He's practicing his residency to become a doctor for the Marines. Like I said, it doesn't quite work like that for the Marines, as far as I know. But, that's the story that I was told, and I wanted it so badly that that was the story that I chose to believe, okay? So, you have to call it like you see it, because I was going to work every day. And if you're working on a residency, you should be showing up at somebody's hospital working under some doctor, right? Okay, it wasn't working like that. So, I was giving him the benefit of the doubt. And that's what we do sometimes as women. We try to give men the benefit of the doubt. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt, okay? I'm going to tell you that. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt, because, a brother can handle himself, but it's the women sometimes that are a little vulnerable because of the situations we may have gotten ourselves into. We may be a single parent, and, we want it to work out. We want to believe the best. We want to believe the best about this person, but you have to look at the red flags, You can't date potential. Dating potential, what is that? Dating potential is, well, I think one day he will be this, or I think one day he will do that, or, one day he will move out of his parents' home, or one day he will get a good paying job, or one day he will get a job, one day he, will own a car. If you already own your car, living in your own house, you need to wait till he gets himself together. I mean, if you really like him like that, you just need to wait. You don't need to jump into a situation with him, because, that is a distraction, and that will slowly slow you down. It will slow you down. So you have to be equally yoked. Sometimes we talk about being equally yoked as in a Christian man and a Christian woman, but it is a little deeper than that too. It's being equally yoked financially. What's your credit score, brother? is equally yoked as far as your mentality, you know, the way that your intellectual stamina, and your intellect. You have to look at the intellect of a person. Like, you know, can we communicate? Are we on the same wavelength? Or, you know, is he talking about buying cars all the time and buying sneakers, and you're talking about investing? You know, you have to look at it for what it is. You have to be equally yoked. Like I said, this is not a Christian, non-Christian thing that I'm talking about. This is a money thing, an intellectual thing. You know, you need to be equally yoked. What qualifies me to say these things? Because I've been through enough of being unequally yoked. I wish I had listened. I wish I had known about this advice, because what I knew about was, oh, make sure he's a Christian. Make sure he's a Christian. Well, guess what? I met a man in church, and that was the worst ride of my life. So, you know, it's not necessarily, you have to have the same belief system, the same values, stuff like that, but you better check the credit score. You better check the criminal background. You better check a lot of stuff, because, you know, being equally yoked in church is not the only thing that you need to be looking at, okay? I'm sorry to say it that way, but there are a lot of wolves in sheep's clothing. Trust me, because I found one. And if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? So don't date potential. Do not date potential. So I was talking to this young lady, and you know, sometimes women gravitate towards me to talk about different things because, you know, like I said, I've had a lot of stuff going on in my life. So I think it qualifies me to talk about certain things because I've been through a lot of things, you know. And that's one thing I want to tell you. Use your gift to help others. You know, whatever you have gone through, you can spare another person a little bit of heartache, you know, especially if they're younger than you, and you know, if they come to you and ask you for advice about something, you know, take the time to listen. You know, don't just give them your life like, oh yeah, I've been through this and I did that and this went wrong and that went wrong, because that may not be the case for them, but at least you can give them some wisdom. So anyway, this young lady comes up to me and she's just talking, you know, she's so upset and she starts crying and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, what's wrong? And she says, well, you know, and mind you, we were out of town, and so her boyfriend was back home, and her boyfriend was spending time with a special friend, somebody that went to high school with, and you know, but he never wanted them to meet one another, you know, for some reason. You know, it was his special friend, and you know, okay. So she was upset about this and crying because now they're spending all this time together, because now she's not in town, and you know, this special friend is, you know, interfering in the relationship, and she doesn't understand why she can't meet this special friend of his. So she was like, so what should I do? And I was like, well, I mean, I said, how long have you guys been dating? She says they've been dating on and off for past 3-4 years. You said that while he's home and you're here now, he's spending time with the special friend. Yeah, I don't know, what am I gonna do? And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you know, it's okay and it's very healthy for a man to have, you know, friends, you know, as well as a woman. You know, the fact that he does not want her to meet this special friend is one red flag. To put the icing on the cake, as they say, they have a conversation that this special friend and he are considering moving in together because they've been friends for so long, you know. Yeah, it's just like a really beautiful friendship, and now they want to move in together. And I'm like, oh, okay. What's your response to that? Well, you know, I just don't know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I don't like to tell people what to do, because I'm hoping by now you can hear yourself and you can pretty much hear that it doesn't make a lot of sense about what you're saying. And I'm hoping that you will come to the conclusion that maybe after 3 or 4 years, if you are still crying over certain things within the relationship that maybe you don't really have a solid relationship, maybe it's time to move on, because a brother needs to respect a woman, you know what I mean? And the fact that you are spending so much time with another person that's not your woman, that's a red flag. The fact that, and then when you try to bring those things up to the person, they start defending them like, oh, well, they've been friends since high school, and, okay. So if you're okay with the fact that they've been friends since high school, so now you're defending him, you just have to kind of connect the dots, okay? If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck, okay? What reason do they have to move in together? That, you gotta use wisdom, Sometimes it's just not about shedding those tears. It's just about opening your eyes. Men will go as far as you will allow them to go. So at that point, once he mentioned the fact that they were moving in, I would be like, you know what? My hands are clean. Go. Be blessed. Holla at you. That's it. There's absolutely no reason for him to taunt you and tell you that he's considering moving in with a special friend. That is blatant disrespect. Sometimes when you're involved in a situation, it's so hard to see the red flags. But you have to desensitize yourself to the situation, and you need to look at it for what it is. You have to look at it for what it is. You can't tolerate situations, and you can't be tolerated. Okay? See the red flags. The warning signs are always there. Okay, so what about the brothers that disrespect you and loud talk you in front of people? Okay, don't tolerate it. Don't tolerate a man, or anyone for that matter, that disrespects you to the point where they're loud talking you in front of people, calling you names in front of people, just outright disrespect. Don't allow yourself to be mistreated. Sometimes we, like I said, to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. We make excuses for behavior that's not acceptable. If he's calling you a lot of different names, that rhyme with witch and itch, and you kind of get where I'm going with that. If he's calling you those types of names, he does not respect you. Okay? And let me tell you, I have never been so disrespected than I was in, I'm going to do a video, and it's going to be a special video where you actually have to go to my website and get it, because it's going to be definitely very explicit, and I don't want to put it on YouTube, but I had been disrespected, and I allowed it. I allowed that, because like I said, to every hungry soul, to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. And I had gotten to a point in my life where I was so hungry for love and affection and attention, and at the time I did not respect myself. I did not see my worth or my value. I felt like I had blown it so many times that, how could I be worthy of anything else? Just outrageous behavior towards me that I allowed and I accepted. And, as he's walking out the door, I'm like crying, don't leave me, and it's like, why would you want that type of behavior around you? Why would you want that type of negative energy, you know, towards you, unless there's something that's seriously wrong or gone wrong on the inside, which was the case. There was definitely something wrong and going wrong on the inside of me, to the point where I was, you know, begging for the person not to leave me, or, you know, chasing the person, or, you know, they disappear from home for a day or two, and I'm like, you know, trying to figure out where you are, and, you know, they're laying up with somebody else, and I'm like trying to, you know, get my man back. You know, no, women cannot you cannot disrespect yourself like that, you know. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. What do? You have to fill your plate with something else. You have to make yourself full of something else, because you can't allow yourself to be so hungry and desperate for a man or for anything. You know, that's desperation, like a desperado, you know. That's completely desperation, you know. There's something definitely wrong on the inside that needs fixing, because it's not natural. And I'm not ashamed to say that, you know, through the years I've had to go through counseling about just my value and my worth, and my, you know, just not connecting the dots myself. You know, sometimes you can allow yourself to be in situations so long in life that it pretty much brainwashes you, you know, where you think, you know, you think you're doing the godly thing, but you're just being stupid. There's nothing godly about allowing someone to mistreat you. I think that we have been twisted, you know, in thinking that that's, you know, a religious act of love to allow people to mistreat us. And, you know, yeah, sometimes you may have to deal with certain things, but when it comes to the point that somebody is mistreating you, and, you know, you're losing weight because somebody is mistreating you, or, you know, you can't take care of your children properly because you're so consumed with, you know, this situation happening to you. And God forbid if they, you know, all of that spews out on your children. And they are affected, you know, because children are affected when the mom is affected, and, you know, you're in the household with the children. You can try to hide certain things, but your child is being exposed to what's going on. And just giving you a little more insight about me too. My children they used to sabotage. Like, it's so funny when you're so consumed in things, you don't see anything wrong with the man. But my young children would see things, and they would intentionally do things to run a brother away. And you know, that would just make me so mad. I'd be like, why they acting like this? They never act like this. Well, you're right. They never act like it, but that they were doing what kids do, because they can't really say, Mom, you know, you're being an idiot. You know, he's no good for you. So what they do, they start acting out and doing different things to make the brother or the man or whatever just leave, because they can't deal with the kids. And so kids have their way of, you know, trying to fix the situation too. Not saying that it's right or wrong, but if it works and it gets them away from there, I guess it's right. but yes, and now my kids, they're older, you know, grown kids now, and they talk about that, you know, the things that they used to do to run people away from there, you know. And there, I thought it was the man was just, you know, something I did, you know, because we do that a lot. Whenever we're broken on the inside, we take the blame for everything. It's like, you know, what did I do? I can make it better. I can fix this and that. No, the brother just ran off by those kids, and you the only one that don't know that. So, you know, you just gotta, you know, really think about that. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You know, when you're hungry, everything tastes good. Mistreatment, you know, just everything tastes good, because you just want it on your plate. You're hungry. You know, you're hungry for something. and you want to pile your plate with some stuff. Don't pile your plate with the wrong stuff, is all I'm saying. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. Think about that. You have to think about that. You have to get that on the inside, because if you can really understand that, it will make you start making better choices. It will help you to help your children make better choices. That's a principle. You have to understand that. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. When you're hungry on the inside, when you're broken on the inside, you'll tolerate stuff that you should never tolerate. You have to fix it. You have to get it right. Okay, so bottom line is, don't allow yourself to be mistreated. Don't settle. Don't date potential. You're more valuable than you know. And you need to be with someone who sees you just as valuable as you were created to be. To the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. You have to get out of that state of being hungry. You need to fill your plate with some good stuff. Not all of that nasty stuff. You got to fill your plate with the good stuff, okay? Call it like you see it, okay? Don't be making excuses for him. Call it like you see it, okay? Make a brother rise up. You don't have to go down. You got to make a brother rise up. And don't be acting like a desperado, like you're desperate to have somebody. Don't be so vulnerable. You got to fix what's broken on the inside of you. Don't be afraid of counseling or a therapist or something like that. Sometimes we get a little prideful and we think we don't need help, but sometimes you just got to reach out for help. Sometimes things are broken on the inside. You can't think that you're it's being weak to cry out for help, because it's not being weak. It's being smart, because you have to be healed on the inside. And don't be trapped and tricked. Sometimes people, when they're walking and very religious, they try to tell you that you're doing what God would want you to do by allowing yourself to be mistreated. I'm a believer, and I stand on the word of God. I'm just telling you not to allow yourself to be mistreated. Don't allow yourself to be kicked around, cursed out, drug around, punched in the face, beat up. Don't do that to yourself, because you're setting an example for your children that it's okay for that to happen to them. And when they grow up, they'll let somebody else do that to them. We have to raise strong women that value themselves, because we are valuable. Thank you for watching TeleciaTV. I want you to continue to follow me, because I have some good stuff coming out. I have a book, Cut the Butts, coming out. I have a website. Go to TeleciaTV.com and just give me some love. Look at the things that I'm doing up there. I'm doing a lot of great things, a lot of good things coming out. And give me some love. Show me some love, okay? Also, if you want one-on-one coaching, I'm going to start doing that with you. I have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of experience. Been in the military over 20 years. I'm a college graduate. I have a master's degree. And I've worked in corporate America a little bit, but more so the military for, like I said, over 20-something years. I've practiced real estate. I've been a real estate professional for a lot of years. And I've been a single mom. I have 5 children. I have a wealth of knowledge in different angles. So if you need to talk about certain things, I'm here for that. Success coaching, because I'm always, striving and progressing and very ambitious, very ambitious. I'm an actress. I'm a filmmaker, working on set, different things. I have a lot of knowledge that I can help you out with or bring to the table. So it's like a dating relationship. I bring a lot to the table, okay? I bring a lot. So I'm looking forward to talking to you. Join me, TeleciaTV. Join me on TeleciaTV.com. And yeah, I have some good stuff coming up. So for now, I will say bye-bye.